Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please do let me know, guys. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please do let me know. Okay, so today is the day 5 of the boot camp itself, and yeah, can somebody remind me what are the different things that we have studied in our previous class? Can somebody remind me what we have studied in our previous class? Up till that point of time, I'm just opening up the live session on my phone as well so that I'm able to see it. Day 3 attendance, I think so the day 3 didn't happen for us. So if it hasn't happened for us, it means that everybody has got the attendance for that particular day. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so we started out with CSS, am I right? Great. Now, there's something I wanted to ask you guys about. In every bootcamp, I usually take up one day to tell you guys about like what is the career opportunity in web development and how to move further after this particular bootcamp is over. So, like, what to do after, like, what do you need to study? How do you need to proceed further? Uh, when it comes to like web development in general and what is needed uh, as well. So, what do you guys suggest? What should we do? Is my voice audible to everybody? Please do let me know. We don't have any type of super chat or something like that. Okay, we removed it when we started out with DevTown itself because we don't want to earn money using this. That is the reason why. Okay, okay, I'm audible now. Okay, so see, we have missed, I think so, one or two classes. Am I right? We have missed one or two classes if I'm not wrong. Please do let me know, guys. So due to that reason, like you are able to see today is day 5, I will be extending the bootcamp by 1 day. Okay, I will be extending the bootcamp by 1 day. Okay, will that be fine with everybody, guys? Please do let me know. I will be extending the bootcamp by 1 day. Will that be fine with everybody? Please do let me know. So we will be having the project on the 8th day. Will it be fine with everybody, guys? Because I want to make sure that everything that we are doing right over here, you guys are able to get the most out of it. I'm able to understand that like the topics and everything is very important to learn, and you need some time to like grasp it in its entirety as well. That is the reason why that I'm suggesting that we should be extending the bootcamp by 1 day so that we are able to learn the topics perfectly. Okay. Uh, Susie also wants to be on Instagram. I don't know why. Okay, no issues in that. So let's do one thing. I'm creating a poll about what to do today, like so that you guys are able to participate, like into deciding what should we do today. Okay, so what to do today? Let's keep the first option as job opportunity and a learning path after boot camp. Continue with CSS. Which ask your community. So I have created a poll, if I'm not wrong. I want you guys to decide like what should we do today. Okay, should we go with the career path? Okay, what is the like what should be the learning process? What are the different opportunities that are available to you guys? What are the different things that you need to learn for those opportunities as well? All these type of stuff. Or else we can just continue with CSS. So I've made up a poll on your chat itself, live chat itself. So that is the reason why I've created it. So we'll be having the poll for like 5 to 10 minutes. Those who are writing it in the live chat, go and put it up on the poll. Okay, so we'll be taking up the poll as our final objective itself. That is the reason why. Okay. To Aditya Dodia for today's bootcamp for the computer vision one, will be having the class at 10 o'clock. Okay. Shahji, that's great that you're here for like learning about CSS, but at the end of the day, you all want jobs, am I right? That is the main reason you're studying at the end of the day. That is the reason why I usually incorporate it in every single bootcamp that I conduct. Okay. Okay. So we have got 434 votes up till now. We'll wait for like 2 more minutes. And I am able to guess that most probably continue with CSS will be the one that we will be winning against. Okay. So we'll be going further with most probably continue with CSS. I don't see the numbers changing a lot right over here. I need to refresh it or something like that. Okay, so the polling, I'm ending it right now. Okay. uh, we will be continuing with CSS itself today as well. Okay. Okay. Let's end the poll right now, and the winner is CSS. So let's continue with the same. Okay. So can somebody let me know what is the full form of CSS, guys? Can somebody let me know what is the full form of CSS? We have already discussed about it. Can somebody let me know what is the full form of CSS? Cascading style sheets. That's great. Jose? No. No. Okay. So let's get started right away. Let me just open up Google Colab. So not Google Colab, Code Sandbox. And the sandbox that we were using. Now, there are three ways in which you can insert CSS into your code. So this is the web browser. Let me just open up the website that we were creating. And along with the same, like, let me just switch on the code as well from right over here. So let me just decrease the size and hide the browser. Okay, so this is the code that we were writing. Okay, the first code that we had seen yesterday about inserting a CSS into your code, we're able to see it from right over here. Okay, that you can directly write, like create a style tab. Okay, we can create a style tag right over here. Okay, and inside of that you can put out your CSS code. Inside of it, which you can put on your CSS code. Okay, so this is called as an internal CSS. Okay, this is called as an internal CSS. Okay, so right over here, if you want to put up your CSS right inside the HTML file, this is called as your internal CSS. Now, the second type of CSS is called as the inline CSS. So instead of writing the CSS right over here, we could remove the styling from right over here. For example, I want to put the CSS for my h1 tag. I can directly put up right over here as style is equals to, and then I will put up my CSS that I want to have. Are you guys able to listen to me properly? Is there any issues with my audio or the video, guys? Is there any problem with my audio or the video, guys? Please do let me know. So for example, for the h1 tag, if I want to put my CSS as an inline CSS that is in the same line as the HTML code, then I just have to write, for example, color. Let's convert the color to blue. Okay, and that's it. This is how I will be able to put up my inline CSS right over here inside the h1 tag itself, just inside the h1 tag itself. As you're able to see, the h1 tag was there. I attached an attribute called as style to it. And inside of that attribute, I had specified the color to be blue right over here. Okay, the color to be blue right over here. So if I'm saving this particular file right now, if I'm going back to my website and reloading the page, the color of the h1 tag has turned blue. Are you guys able to see? Please let me know, guys. The color has changed to blue. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. And this is called as an inline CSS. Now the issue with both internal and inline CSS is very common. The thing is, like, with both inline and internal CSS, your HTML file becomes very big and messy to read. Okay, it becomes very big and messy to read. You are having your styles, you are having your HTML in the same file. Now usually your CSS code is almost like 10,000 or 15,000 lines of code, and your HTML would also be in the range of 5,000 to 6,000 lines of code. It becomes so big and messy file that it becomes very difficult for other developers to understand something or find something in it. Due to that reason, we usually prevent ourselves from using internal or inline CSS. So usually we don't use internal or inline CSS. What we do is we link the page to an external CSS file. So for example, right over here inside the files, I can go and create a new file called as style, S-T-Y-L-E, style.css. You can name it as anything. Okay, but the default preference is given to style itself. So style.css, this is our CSS file. I will be writing my CSS file code inside of it. That is h1, and h1, that is the selector that I'm having, and I'm having the rules, the description that I want to create, that is color. Let's keep the color as, let's say, green. Okay, let's keep the color as green so that we are able to distinguish if some changes have happened. Let's save it right over here. Let's go back to our website, reload the page. As you're able to see, nothing happened. Our h1 tag hasn't turned green. Can somebody let me know why has this happened? Why is my h1 tag not turning green right over here? Can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know how will the h1 tag turn green, guys? Exactly. So this page is actually rendering just the HTML file. Okay, this page is actually rendering just the HTML file. Now, as you're able to see, anywhere inside my HTML file, is there any reference or any like any type of thing that basically specifies that all the CSS code is in style.css? I've not told anything right over here in the HTML file that there is another file called a style.css that it needs to use. So first we need to link both these files. Inside your head tag, you will be creating another tag called as a link tag, and you will be linking the CSS right over here. So the link tag right over here, as you're able to see, is again a self-closing tag. Okay, so it does not has an opening and a closing tag because you don't have to write something in between it. you want to href, that is the file that you want to link. So you want to link the style.css file. Okay, you want to link the style.css file. Okay, and the relationship rel, that is the relationship attribute between the current file, that is the html file, and the file that you are linking, that is the css file, is that the css file is the style sheet for your html file. Okay, the css file is your style sheet for your html file. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Great. So if I'm saving this right away here, let me just check if style.css is present or not. I just need to use control and then click, so it's present. Okay, so I will go back to my website, I will reload the page, and as you're able to see, the color of the h1 tag has turned green. The color of the h1 tag has turned green. Okay, what is the use of relationship? The rel or relationship basically specifies what is the current relationship between the current style sheet, okay, that is the css file, and the html file in which you are having the link code. Now that is very important because it is a metadata about what you are currently linking to. You can link javascript files, you can link images, you can link gifs, you can link nfts, you can link iframes, you can link normal css files. So there are so many different things that you can link, so you need to specify what you are actually linking right over there. Okay, so that is the reason why you basically specify the relationship as well. Okay, okay, so let's go back to our ppt then. Give me a second, I will just open up the ppt once again. Downloads, ppt. Okay, so we have already done the first particular project, that is h1 to green. As you're able to see, we have directly done our h1 to green as well. Okay, and next what we want to do is we will move to some other things. Now the two more selectors that you need to know about. Up till now, the selectors that we have looked at is just the tag. Okay, that's the html tag that we had right over there. But what if I want to have like let's try to understand this particular scenario. Okay, I will go back to my website, I will remove everything from my website, I will have just h1 tags. Okay, I will remove everything from the website and I will just have one h1 tag on my screen. I'm going back to my website and reloading the page. As you're able to see, we are just having one h1 tag on our screen right over here. Now if I am just copying this h1 tag almost 5 times, so 1 2 3 4 5, there are 6 h1 tags on our screen. Okay, there are 6 h1 tags on our screen. Let us just cross check that as well. Now the problem with this is that all the h1 tags that are present on our screen have turned green in color. All the h1 tags that are present on our screen have turned green in color because inside our css we have specified the selector as the h1 tag. Okay, we have selected the tag as h1. Due to that, all the h1 tags that are present on our screen have turned green in color. Now this is not an ideal condition, am I right? Is this an ideal condition for us when you are creating any website? Do you want all your h1 tags to be of the same color? Can somebody let me know? Is this an ideal condition, guys? Please let me know. What do you think about the same? Exactly, this is not an ideal condition. We never want all the h1 tags on our screen. So for example, if you are having a newspaper website, all the headings on your newspaper website, you don't want it to be green in color. Maybe you want only one or two like to be green in color, maybe some of it is red in color, or so on and so forth. Now let's think about it in a very practical example. Let's take up paint again. Now when you are at any point of time visiting any, so most of you have been to school, am I right? Yeah, most of you are in college, so of course you have been in school. Did you had some like annual day functions that were there in your schools? Did you had some annual day functions that were there in your schools? Give me a second, guys. I just need to see Susie. She's all right. Yeah, so whenever you were in your annual day, let's take up this example. This is your entire school. Let's consider this as your entire school right over here. Now, your school was divided into classes. Okay, you are having your class 7A. Your class, so like 7A would have like 30 people inside of it. Then you were having another class that is 7B, and it also had like 30 people inside of it. Then you were having, let's say, 7C. That too had like 30 people inside of it. Okay, that too had 30 people inside of it, and let's say 7D as well, just for the sake of covering up the entire plot. Okay, so you had 7D that also had 30 people inside of it. Now, depending upon the class that you are having, okay, you must have been divided into groups and you must be having some dances. So maybe like 7A is like dancing on the tunes of like Ed Sheeran. Let's say that 7B was dancing on the sounds of Ritviz. Let's say 7C is like into hip hop, and 7D is into classical. Okay, so you are having like all the classes have been allotted there, like songs that they are going to dance and everything. So if I'm saying that every student in class 7A would have the theme of red, so everybody who is present in 7A would be wearing red colored dresses. Am I right? If I'm telling that 7A would be having a color of red, that means every student who is present into the class 7A would be wearing red color. Am I right, guys? Then maybe 7B has been allotted the green color. So everybody who is currently present in 7B would have to wear the color green. Similar to that, if I'm allotting a blue color to 7C and let's say orange color to 7D right over here. So every student in these classes, every single student in that class will be wearing this particular color itself. Okay. Now there was one more concept in schools, your roll number. Roll number is something that is unique to a particular student. Okay, so a particular person, for example, let's say this particular person right over here will have the roll number 1, then roll number 2, roll number 3, roll number 4, roll number 5, roll number 6, and so on and so forth. No two students in the entire school, no two students in the entire school can have the same roll number. Am I right? No two students in the entire school can have the same roll number. Am I right? Am I right, guys? Please do let me know. That's great. So now if I'm saying that the student with the roll number 6 would be wearing gold colored dresses. Okay, student with the roll number 6 will be wearing gold colored dresses. That means only this student, irrespective of what his class is wearing, he will be wearing gold colored dress. Am I right or wrong? Please let me know. This roll number is usually referred to as your ID as well. This roll number is usually referred to as your ID as well. So when I'm talking about ki, okay, so for example, class 7A, so all the students in class 7A will be wearing red in color. But when I'm talking, okay, the student with the ID 6 will be wearing gold colored dresses. Irrespective of what his class is wearing, he would then be wearing a gold colored dress. Okay. So now that is the thing that I want you guys to understand. The same thing goes on in your HTML code as well. For example, you are having a lot of h1 tags. Okay, you are having this h1 tag, then this h1 tag, this h1 tag. Let's say that you are having a lot of h1 tags right over here. Now, if I'm specifying that, okay, this h1 tag with an ID that is unique to it. Okay, so ID is always unique. Always try to understand. 30 students can have the same class name. Okay, they can belong to the same class, but an ID will always be unique. There is never two students which will have the same ID. The same goes on in your HTML code as well. There is never two h1 tags that can have the same, never two any tag that can have the same ID. ID is always unique. So if I'm specifying an ID right over here as, let's say, 1. Okay, if I'm specifying an ID as 1, if I'm saying that, okay, the h1 tag with the ID 1 should be of red in color, then only this h1 tag on the entire screen would be of red in color, because it has the ID of 1 associated with it. Are you guys able to understand this? I cannot have any other h1 tags that has the same ID as 1. I cannot have any other h1 tag that has the same ID as 1. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Now, but if I want to specify that, okay, so the first h1 tag, okay, I will have the class. Okay, I will have the class as odd. Okay, the second one I will have the class as even. Third one I will have the class as odd. Okay, the fourth one I will have the class as, let's say, even itself. So class is equals to even for the fourth one. Okay, then I'm having the class as odd. Okay, once again, then a class as even, again, then class as odd, and then class as even. Now I'm specifying that, okay, 1 is red, okay, odd is a blue, and even is yellow. These are the color that I'm specifying right over here, that all the like tags, all the tags that are having the odd as a particular class name, that is they belong to the class odd, will be blue in color. So all the h1 tags that have the class as odd, so this is blue in color, this is also blue in color, this will also be blue in color. Okay, this is also blue in color right over here. Similar to that, all the class with even will be yellow in color. So this is yellow in color right over here. Now this has an ID as well as a class. This has an ID as well as a class. So let's leave it for right now. Okay, so this is also yellow in color. This is also yellow in color. Okay, because these have the class as even. Now what about the h1 tag that has the class as even as well as an ID as 1? Now if a particular student belongs to class 7B and has an ID of 6, if the class 7B had to wear green color clothes, are you able to see right over here? The class 7B had to wear green color clothes, but the student with the ID 6 had been told to wear golden color clothes. So what will be the cloth of the student of roll number 6? What will be the color of the cloth of the student of roll number 6? Can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know that, please? Class 7B had the cloth of green, but 6 had the cloth of gold. So what should be the clothing of that particular child? It will be golden color. Now what about this h1 tag? The same concept apply to the h1 tag. H1 tag is a class of even and an ID of 1. So what will be its color, guys? What would be its color? Red. That's absolutely clever, guys. It would be of red in color. This h1 tag will be of red in color because ID has a greater precedence over your class. ID has a greater precedence over your class. Okay, so let's go back to our PPT, try to understand how to select. Now when you are having a class or you are having an ID, you need to select it as well. Up till now we were directly using the selector as the tag name, that is the h1 tag. Now you need to use the attribute, that is class or ID, as a selector as well. For that, when you are having a class, you need to start off with a dot. Okay, so whatever the class name is, and before that a dot. Okay, that basically means that you are selecting the class that has the name of book summary. Similar to that, if you're going with ID, okay, you have to put up a hash before the selector to specify that you are basically selecting a ID that is hash, okay, that is basically site description, that is the ID name, and you will be selecting it using a hash itself. Okay, are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. So let us look at this in a much more practical sense. Okay, let's go back to our code and let's try to write some code to be able to understand it. Okay, so let's go back to our h1 tag. Let's create a class of odd. Let's copy this, paste it wherever necessary. Let's create a class of even, then a class of even right over here as well. Now it's always considered as a great practice to use just classes. Okay, never to use IDs or directly upon tags as a selector. It's always better to use classes as much as possible. Okay, so please try to remember this, guys, that wherever possible, ignore, like, try to not to use IDs and try to not to use direct h1 tags itself. Wherever possible, try to use classes. Otherwise as well, wherever necessary, you will have to use IDs as well. So for example, let's put up an ID as 1 for the same. Okay, so class is odd and the ID is 1 right over here. Let's save the HTML code. Let's go back to style.css. Let's create one more h1 tag on the top. Let's create one more h1 tag so that you guys are able to understand the h1 tag as well. And let's put up some text in between it. Okay, let's save this. Let's go back to our website. We are having the, let's choose the color pattern that we were dealing with beforehand itself. So odd is blue, even is yellow, one is red, so that you are able to relate to it as well. So now to select a class, what should be the selector that I should write? I need to select the class named as odd. So what should be the selector that I should be using? Could you guys let me know? If I want to select the odd class, what is the selector that I need to write? Absolutely clever, guys. Dot odd. Okay, that is the selector that I'm having. Parenthesis. And then after that, color. And the color, I want to specify it as blue. Okay, so the color I'm specifying right over here as blue. Okay, now for another class, that is our even class right over here. So dot even, and we will be specifying our parenthesis, specifying our parenthesis right over here, and we'll be putting up the color as, let's say, yellow. Okay, and after that we are having our ID as 1. Can somebody let me know what is the selector tag for IDs? Can somebody let me know what is the selector tag of IDs? What is the selector tag of IDs, guys? Please let me know, guys. Hash 1. That's absolutely clever, guys. So we'll be using hash and then 1 because that's an ID. I will be setting it up to color of red, COLOR, as red. Okay, so we will be saving this, Control S. As you're able to see, we have written for h1 directly. If it is just h1, it should be green. If it is having a class of dot odd, it should be blue. Dot even, it should be yellow. Hash 1 should be red right over here. If I'm going back to our website, reloading the page, as you're able to see, the first one that was just having no class, no ID, that was just a plain old h1 tag, is still having green in color. Then you are having your odd that is having blue in color. You're having the one with odd as well as an ID that is red in color, so that is basically taken up ID right over there. And then you are having the class with even that is basically yellow in color. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know, guys. The guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know, guys. So why did we write both class as well as ID in this particular line when I just wanted to use the ID? So that I'm able to understand, make you guys understand the precedence of the characters. So if I'm having this CSS for H1 as well as a class as well as an ID, which one will get selected? So due to that reason, I have put all of them together right over here. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Great. So let's move on to the PPT once again. Now, usually in your daily life, you refer to length in either feet or centimeters or meters or miles, or like ऐसा मारूंगा कि उड़ते हुए जाओगे. So like that is like another type का reference right over there. Okay. But yeah, you usually refer length into your daily life as some of the materials, as centimeters, meters, feet, kilometers, miles, or something like that. Now, hey, Suzy, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? What is it? So, similarly, when you're creating a website as well, there's a lot of dimensions that you need to take into consideration. Okay, for example, you want to specify, okay, so the distance between this button and this particular text box should be how many something. You want to specify the size of a particular text. Okay, so how much size of a particular text should be in some particular measuring unit. Okay, so on and so forth. Now if you're doing in this particular sense, okay, the same length does not work inside of your normal web development itself. You cannot use meters and miles and feet to basically calculate it. So for the same, you use something called as pixels and percentages. Now we will be trying to understand this right now. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so we'll be trying to understand how we are able to measure distance in your web development usually. Okay, now there are two kinds of measurement that you must have seen at any point of time. The first one is an absolute measurement, that is this particular road is 8 meters wide. Okay, this is an absolute measurement that no matter what like truck is running on this or car is running on it or a bike is running on it, it is 8 meters in width. This is called as an absolute measurement. Okay, this is absolute in nature. Okay, similar to that, you are having another type of measurement, that is a relative measurement. Okay, in relative measurement, you are able to see that, okay, this particular road is 2 cars wide. Okay, this particular road is 2 cars wide. So now if it is a Mercedes SUV, the width of the road will vary according to it. Okay, according to the car itself, it will vary. If you are having 2 nanos, now the car would be a bit the road would be a bit thinner because both nanos are small. If you are having like 2 big cars, like big SUV cars like Fortuner or something like that, then the width of the road would automatically widen. So now the width of the road basically depends upon the width of the car itself, and that is what is basically called as a relative measure of unit. Okay, relative measurement that you're doing. Okay, because it depends upon the car. Are you guys able to understand the difference between absolute measurement and relative measurement, guys? Are you guys able to understand the difference between absolute measurement and relative measurement? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand the difference between the same? Great. So now an example, just taking up an example, we will be understanding about this right over here. Okay, so don't worry about it. As you're able to see, we'll be able to understand everything. But a good example of an absolute measurement. So first, let us try to understand what pixels are. Only then you will be able to understand the rest of the stuff. Now, whenever you are using any kind of device in your house, whether it be a TV, whether it be a monitor, whether it be your phone, your laptop, anything, if you bring your phone very close to your eyes, very close to it, and I'm not able to see jack shit on this, but yeah, if you're bringing your phone, or especially if you go very close to your television, okay, if you go very close to your television, you will be able to see small boxes, okay, small square boxes on your screen. Have you guys tried that? Please let me know, guys. Have you guys tried that? Please do let me know. Have you gone very close to your television? You would be able to see like small rectangles, small squares on your screen itself. If you guys haven't seen that, just go in front of, like, just switch on your television and go and just stick your nose like literally right over here to the screen. You will be able to see it. Okay. So just try to do that. Okay, for those who haven't seen it, man, you guys, I don't know what you were doing in your childhood. Everybody has done it. Okay, so that small square that you are able to see, so let me just show you some images for those who haven't been, like, you guys must be very intelligent. I was the dumb child, I guess, in my childhood, that I was sitting too close to the TV itself. Pixels. So when you go too close to your screen, you will find it to be something like this. Okay, it will have like small rectangles right over here, with each rectangle taking up a color right over there. Now, as you're able to see, these pixels itself are the basic building blocks of your screen. Okay, so any type of screen that you're using at any point of time is basically comprised of these pixels. With time, of course, these pixels have gotten way small for, like, to be able to see them with your naked eye itself. But yeah, any screen that you're using, whether it be a phone, laptop, TV, desktop, monitor, anything that you're using, tablet, it is comprised of these small pixels. And they have a fixed number of pixels on each devices as well, and each devices are having a small size. Okay, so for example, when you talk about like 1080p, okay, you are talking about the number of pixels on your screen itself. 4K screen, that is 4000 pixels. 8K screen, that is an 8000 pixel density screen. That is how you are able to talk about the number of, like, the resolution of your screen as well. So that is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. Now, in this particular thing, if I want to find out the width of feed, okay, of feeds right over here, I can just count the number of pixels that are there. Okay, I can just exactly count the number of pixels that are there. So I'm having like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, and so on and so forth. So I'm like able to count it like it's like 25 or 30 pixels wide, and that is a fixed. Okay, that's an absolute measurement, that it is like 50 pixels wide. Okay, that is 50 pixels wide right over there. It's an absolute measurement. It does not change. If I'm opening it on TV as well, it will take up just 50 pixels. If I'm opening it on my phone, it will take up just 50 pixels. If I'm opening it up on my computer, it will take up just 50 pixels. So that is a fixed measurement. It does not change. It is not relative to anything. It is not relative to anything. It's a fixed measurement right over there. Okay, are you guys able to understand about pixels and why is it called as an absolute unit of measurement, guys? Guys able to understand about pixels and why it is called as an absolute unit of measurement? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Great. Now, the second type of measurement is called as percentage based measurement. Okay. So for example, let me just go back to my PPT. Second type of, so this was the absolute unit of measurement, that is 400 pixels wide. That means just 400 pixels. It won't take up a second more. Okay, second pixel more or not. Now the second type of measurement is called as a relative measurement. When you have something that has a relative unit that you're using right over there, that is basically, for example, width is equals to 40%. If I'm having an image on my screen, okay, let me just use paint right over here. Okay, let's draw an image. So this is your monitor. Okay, let's consider this to be your monitor itself. Susie, what are you doing? Susie, hey, come here, come here. But okay, so if I'm taking this particular example right over here, okay, this is your monitor. Okay, uh this is your monitor right over there. Okay, and on this monitor you have opened up a browser. Okay, or you have opened up a browser on your mobile phone. So let us consider this red one as your browser that you have opened up. Okay, now if I'm having a particular image on the website as well, if I'm having a particular image of the website right over here, and I've specified the width of this image, I've specified this width of this image, width, width of this image as 40%. Okay, that means that it is 40% of the width of the browser itself. Okay, it is the width of this image is always 40% of the width of the browser itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. If I'm shrinking down my size of the browser, okay, if I am shrinking down the size of my browser right over here, this is basic IQ, man. This is not even like web development. Like if I'm telling like something is 40% of the width of something, if I'm decreasing the width of that something, then the width of, okay. So now my browser size, the width of my browser is like 50, like is half of what it was before. So now the width of my image will also be decreased by that amount. Right over here, my image would be something like this, because it will still take just 40% the width of the entire browser. It will take up just 40% of the width of the entire browser. Okay, so that is where it is relative to the width of the browser itself. That is why it's a relative unit of measurement. We will be seeing this in practical coding as well. You don't have to worry about it. But are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this particular concept? Please let me know. Don't worry, we will not be moving further from here. Tomorrow we'll be looking at this in a practical sense. Don't worry about it. But are you guys able to understand this? That is the main question. Please let me know, guys. Okay, great. Okay, so whatever we talked about today, are you guys very comfortable with this? Because this is the basics of CSS. Okay, from tomorrow onwards, we'll be going into a bit more advanced topic itself. So I need to make sure that you guys are very familiar with the basics. Are you guys okay with it? Please let me know. Okay. Oof. So let me just show you guys the attendance for today. Which bootcamp are we currently doing? Portfolio website. Day 5. We'll be doing our project on the day 8. Like I have told you guys, we will be increasing our bootcamp by one more day. Okay, so please try to remember this. We will be increasing our bootcamp by one more day. So it will be day 8th that we'll be having our project on. Okay, I want to make sure that you guys are going on a good pace and you are able to understand everything while we are doing the same. Okay, we create the attendance link for day 5 and blah 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 blah. It's proper. Response is open. Send. link, shorten URL, copy URL, QR. A code generator. So tomorrow we'll be talking about like the career opportunities and everything. Okay, that will be our aim in tomorrow's class. Day after tomorrow we'll be completing our advanced CSS portion, intermediate and advanced, and then on this 8th day we'll be having our project. Okay, so please be ready for the same. So let me just download the QR. Day 5 July. Download up. Okay, so please scan the QR code for today. Okay, and then we will move further according to the same itself. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. We will meet tomorrow again at the same time. Please be on time and we will have a blast moving further. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.